Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Katie Whelan, your Phoenix area realtor. Thank you so much for taking just a few minutes to learn about the real estate market here in Phoenix during the month of May 2022. Before I get started, I want to remind you that I get almost all of my data from two sources. Number one, the incredible gold standard analysts at the Cromford Report here in the Valley, and also from we call it the ARMLS, the Arizona Regional Multiple Listing Service. These are the two sources of consistent data. I analyze it all the time. If you know me, you know I'm a former retail executive. To me, it's all about the dollars and cents, and the best way I can help you make a decision about your next real estate purchase is to give you all the information you could ever want, and maybe even a little bit more, so that you can make an informed decision for you, your family, and your future. So let's get into it. So the month of May actually brought us a couple new interesting twists to the business. First of all, May 2022, there were actually 7,885 closed transactions. That's a lot, but it's down pretty significantly from the month of April, where there were 10,600, and then the month of May last year, that was ironically right around 10,600 as well. So they're down about 26% in units, and that has left us with a different kind of inventory situation than we've been in for a while. The average selling price in the month of May, this is across all price points in the entire valley, was $592,600. Last year, same month, average home price in the valley, $509,200. So significant increase in the price point. As I mentioned, we're in an inventory situation we haven't been in for a while. Now, this kind of goes back to my old retail days, but we do like to talk about months of supply here in the real estate industry. Currently, month of May ended at 1.2 months of supply. That's the highest month end that I remember clearly in more than a year, and I think it's even probably closer to a year and a half. Last month, we ended with 0.6 of a month of supply, and a year ago, May 2021, 0.5, so half a month of supply. What does that mean? There's more homes to choose from. Our chief economist at the National Association of Realtors, Lawrence Yoon, cautions us to just be careful. Right now, we do believe that unit sales and unit price points are going to continue to increase, but possibly not, and probably not at these double-digit rates of increase we have seen for several months. So looking forward, we anticipate that the demand is going to continue to slow down, but not stop. We've simply been in an era, truly for the last 2 years, of unprecedented, unimaginable growth. So things are still good. Our market is considered the second fastest growing market in the country. Tampa is number one, Phoenix is number two. And that's information that just came out in today's Wall Street Journal. So we can't talk about inventory or even the market without acknowledging the fact that interest rates, so mortgage rates, have continued to increase for the last 3 months at least. As of this morning, the folks at Bankrate, which is just an average of commercial lending fees for mortgages, projects that today with good credit, so 740 and above and 10% down, a 30-year mortgage will cost you about 5.48%. A month ago, it was about the same rate, just a little bit lower, 5.24, but a year ago, it was less than half. So if you're going to buy a house today, it is going to cost you more. The price of the home is going to be higher, and the cost of the mortgage is going to be more if you're going to finance that. But don't be discouraged. This is exactly why we need to share this information often, and we should start working together as soon as you are considering making a move. Because right now is the time to start planning, but we'll get into that more in just a second. When you look across the valley, you can also say the pending sales, so the number of people who are under contract, has stayed the same this month, last month, and a year ago, just over 7,000. And the sale price compared to the list price, this is something we like to look at, is holding at 101.67%. So that means that if the house was listed for $100,000, it is likely on average to sell for just over that at 101 1,000.67. This is something that we like to keep track of. Also, days on market right now for the month of May, we ended the month at 27 days average on market in April, and then in May of last year it was at 28, so that hasn't really changed. If you look across the entire valley, almost every single community sold less units in the month of May than they did in the month of April or in the month of May last year. But there's one exception to that, and that is the incredible community of Maricopa. It's mostly considered, and I might get my hand slapped for this, but it is south and it's a little bit east. So southeast community, it is west, if you're looking at a map, or if I'm just confusing you, it's easy for me to get confused too. It is west of Gilbert and Chandler, to kind of give you an idea. It's in Pinal County. It's an amazing community. It's well established. It's kind of a best kept secret. Maricopa has so many types of homes to offer you. There are established communities that have been there for a long time. They're lush and green and incredible. There's every kind, gated enclaves, restricted access enclaves, 55 and over communities. And community is the word I think of when I think of Maricopa. I've had the opportunity to work in there quite often, and it is a community. In fact, I was there this February on the weekend that there was actually the art fair at the high school, and I actually think that everyone in the entire town was at the art fair. I know they were not at my open house, but that's a different topic. What's interesting about Maricopa is they have had an increase not only in their list price, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and their sale price, but in the number of units sold. So in the month of May this year, they sold 21% more homes than they sold last May. And the price actually increased 27%. The average price of a home in Maricopa is just over $425,000. And that takes into account the established communities and a lot of new construction. If you'd like to know more about Maricopa, it would be my pleasure to put together a virtual tour or an in-person tour for you anytime you'd like. Just reach out to me with the contact information attached to this video and we'll be happy to set that up. So we talk about those increases in Maricopa, just to give you kind of a point of reference. The city of Phoenix sold 14% fewer units May 2022 versus last year. The city of Surprise, which is an established West Valley community, sold 12% less. And then on the East Valley side, the city of Scottsdale sold 27% fewer units in the month of May in 2022 than they did in 2021. So a couple just general facts that might be interesting to you. Year to date here in the Valley, this year we have sold 107,259 homes. That's January 1st through the end of calendar May. Last year, same date, we'd sold 113,844. So it's a little bit of a decrease in units, just about 6%. But we set a record in May, on May 13th, and you can decide whether it's a good record or a bad record. But the average, this was actually the highest ever average recorded monthly sale price in the history of the Phoenix MLS, was recorded on the 13th of May. And that average monthly sale price was $589,859. So again, you tell me if you think that's good or bad. You know, something many of you, we talk about this, and I'm happy to talk about it all the time, is where do you start? What do you do first? Maybe you're just thinking about making a change, or maybe you're not actually thinking of making a change, but you're hearing a lot about mortgage rates in the future and what's going to happen. Now, none of us has a crystal ball, and we can't say for sure. But what should you do first if you're thinking of making a change? The very first thing is take a look at your family's finances. What exactly is your monthly budget? Not necessarily your monthly budget for a new home, but what's your budget? Do you have disposable income? And is there a different kind, a different style of home, a different maybe location? Maybe you don't have to go into your office anymore. Maybe you work from home all the time, and you can look for a different kind of house, maybe in a different kind of community. The budget is the first place to start. And then before we actually go out and look at houses, it's really important that you let me either connect you with a lender I know, or you go to a lender that you know, like, and trust. And you start to put together what your mortgage requirements would be. It's completely free to you. And it's a short conversation. I bet you it's probably 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. And they might ask you for a lot of information, but they'll go through that with you and then possibly have you go on to start an application. All that does is give you an idea of what it will cost you and what actually are your resources to get you into the price point that's going to work for you and your family. I could tell you from experience on both sides of the table, it's not fun to have you fall in love with a house and find out that for whatever reason, that home is out of reach for you and your family. And we want to work upfront as much as we can. We can't always do it perfectly, but we sure try to. And I'll connect you with a variety of sources. I am not licensed in mortgage. I can only report to you what I read about mortgages, but you and your situation, that'll be between you and the lender. I stay out of that part, but I'm happy to make those connections. That's the most important first step. But you know what? If you're thinking of making a change, I'd love to talk to you. It's never too early to talk about what your next real estate move may be, even though it might not be for another several years. Some of my most favorite clients are the ones I've been working with for a long, long time. I'd love to add you to the list. If you are interested in this kind of information, please subscribe at the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up or feel free to reach out to me with direct comments. I'd be so happy to get back to you. Thank you to all of you who have stuck with me over the years. It is such a pleasure and an honor to work with you. And for those of you who are new, I cannot wait to help you and your family find a great home here in the Valley of the Sun. So until next time, friends, take really good care and let's connect soon.